Hi everyone, this is Steph Stark here with a new narration, this time by Twilight Dreamer 87 on Reddit. Now, unlike last week, this time the story is classed as a true experience that the user has had, and it's called My Parents' Haunted House, and there is a link in the description down below if you want to check it out for yourself. Okay, let's get into it. This is the first time I'm posting anything online about this. I'm a 31-year-old woman, married, and recently moved back in with my parents due to moving back to the town that I grew up. My husband and I are taking our time looking for our first place due to wanting something nice in the area, and that is usually hard to find. The story takes place in my parents' house, starting back about 10 years. The first time I stepped foot into this house, I immediately felt off, like something wasn't right. I felt a presence, but I didn't know what or who it was. I brushed it off, thinking that I was reading too much into it. I continued to feel this for the next couple of years, and because of this, I didn't enjoy visiting them much. My parents liked to gamble a lot back then, so they would ask me to babysit my baby brother and sister one day on the weekend. My boyfriend, now husband, loved them, so he would always babysit with me. The first few times, I really didn't pay attention to the feeling I would get because we would be busy playing or eating with the kids. After that, things kind of chilled out and we would end up watching movies until it was time for the two of us to go to bed. Now, my husband's a freak of nature. It's like he falls asleep the second his eyes are closed. Me, on the other hand, takes me forever to get comfortable enough to wind down my mind. I also don't sleep well even when I do finally get to sleep. This night was the first time I saw and heard something in this brand new house. In this room, the bed is facing the doorway, but not directly in front of it. With the double doors open, you can see the front of the staircase and all the way down the hallway, as long as the lights are all on. This night, only one of the hallway lights were on. I was laying in the bed with the TV on, but the volume down low so that I could hear if any of the kids called me. I was almost asleep when I heard one of my siblings coming down the stairs. I open my eyes a bit and I wait for them to get to the bottom, but they never do. I didn't think anything of it and I close my eyes and begin to drift off again. A few minutes later, I hear again. So I open my eyes and wait, but again, they never get to the bottom. This time, I sit up and I listen. A bit spooked, but nothing that I can't handle. I get a bit nervous, but I still go to check to see if they are there, and maybe they are scared to come all the way down or something. No one is there though. Confused and thinking I must be dreaming it up, I go back to bed. This time closing one of the double doors. It was a few hours later, around 2:30 AM, when I feel like someone's very near to me, as if they are standing next to the bed right in front of me. Usually, when I open my eyes, I would see the green glow of the alarm clock on the bedside table, but this time I saw nothing. It was pitch black. I couldn't even see the hallway light on, and the TV had turned itself off. I felt like I couldn't move. I was awake now and scared to my bones. I was finally able to call out my husband's name loud enough to wake him. He reached over and turned on the light. And then the scared feeling just went away and I was able to move again. I freaked out and started crying. I couldn't begin to explain to him what happened because even if I had, he didn't even believe in those kind of things. So I told him I was having a nightmare and asked him to go and check on the kids. When he came back, he said the kids were fine and got back in bed. With the light on, I was able to finally fall back to sleep, but it took me a very long time. The next day, I told my mum about what happened, and that's when she told me. She had been hearing footsteps on the stairs at night, and even saw someone standing by the door at times. She didn't tell anyone because she didn't want to scare the kids. This was when she told me what she'd done. She wanted to know what was going on in the house. So she went and bought a voice recorder. One day, she decided to use it and went upstairs while everyone was gone. She asked your typical questions, such as who is here, what do you want, and why are you here? And then said, you have passed away and you need to go into the light. You are not welcome here. The next day, she decided to leave the recorder in one of the bedrooms upstairs while it was recording for about 4 hours, as she did running errands. I asked if she checked it, and to my surprise, she said she was too afraid to listen to it alone. I wanted to listen to it, so we went to the computer and began listening after it was uploaded. During the 4 hours that she was gone, you could hear something clicking or tapping, sounds of a drawer opening and closing, but we couldn't be sure. Then we listened to the part where she was asking questions. Now you could hear a sound that resembled a fan or maybe static throughout the whole thing, so some sounds were completely indistinguishable. But the one sound we did hear, because it chilled us to our core, was when she asked, "What do you want?" and it gave us an answer. I'm changing my brother's name here for privacy. The answer was Jamie. He didn't answer any other questions except for that. I cried immediately. He wasn't having night terrors after all. Something was there for him every night. We soon asked a friend to cleanse the house. For a long time, everything had been okay. My brother stopped having the night terrors. My mum was able to sleep comfortably, and all was good again. Until now. I have been living in this house for a month and a half. For the last 3 weeks, I have been seeing things everywhere, especially when I'm alone. Because of this, I won't stay alone anymore. I get the strong feeling of being watched. I had the feeling of someone pulling on my blanket the other night. And now, I think it's time for another cleanse. Oh, and just an FYI, I'm the 3rd generation of my mother's side of the family that is able to see spirits. My dad's side of the family, in the past before I was born, practiced black magic. I don't like speaking to them, and I won't dabble in any of the spiritual stuff most people do. I stay as far away from it as possible, and I recommend that you do too. Even if you are careful, these spirits can haunt for a long time, even after you are gone. And that's the end of that one. That was My Parents' Haunted House by Twilight Dreamer 87. I really enjoyed this one. I kind of prefer the scary stories with the real life angle, like real life experiences. So I'm going to try and have a little hunt for more things like this. But there is an update on the bottom of this story, which reads, "Update. So I'm sitting in the living room playing with my nephew. Mum's on the couch with my sister. My nephew has a toy piano that is made of cloth and can be folded up. This piano is behind us in the corner with all of my nephew's other toys. We're talking and watching my nephew attempt to walk when this piano makes a sound. It's like someone is pressing the keys slowly. We stop and stare and then look at each other, shocked. Then the keys begin to press more rapidly until it finally shuts off on its own. Mum and I aren't too scared, but my sister is terrified. And she says it's due to something that happened to her last night around midnight. That is a different story I'll be posting tomorrow." Okay, so there is a follow-up which I would love to be able to read for you guys as well. So I've left a comment on Twilight Dreamer 87's story, on the follow-up story, and hopefully they'll be okay with me doing that one. And if they are, I will get that posted next week for you as well. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you for checking it out, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.